Hello, how are you doing? Pilot career. I have been working on this for some time to collect maximum details as possible from every possible angle. So let's get started. Introduction. So the way this video is arranged is that there is chapter timelines. So you could jump into any topic of your interest, and there are comments as additional information. Okay, so that means if I click on something like this with the highlight, you could see additional information here. Okay, so make sure you read them. All right. So my first question to anyone who wish to become a pilot is this just a fantasy or a passion? Well, if this is just a fantasy, like you're getting attracted to the uniform or status or salary, things like that, the career may not be sustainable. On the other hand, I really wish you are someone who got a real obsession to become a pilot. What that means is right from your childhood, you will have um, a lot of curiosity, right? Like all this question comes into your mind. So such um, people will do great because such people love flying, they like adventurous job, and they love traveling the world. Okay, so please do not underestimate this thing. It makes a lot of difference. Now let's move on to the eligibility part. Um, it the DGCA, the regulator, just mentions about 10 plus 2 as the basic education with maths and physics. But these days you can't find any 10 plus 2 pilot, right? So you must do a degree or an engineering before you go for becoming a pilot, because when you are in the competition to get a job, this matters. The when it comes to medical fitness, 90 percentage candidate clear it, and what that means, I have some comments here. All right, make sure you read this. What is the medical fitness for military is very very strict than the general aviation, um, and there are three types of medical fitness test. You definitely need class 2 to start with. Okay, it is valid for 2 years. Now, how do you know where to go to do this test? I'll show you that. Let's go to DGCA. This is DGCA. Hold on. Let me see what happened. It's not moving. Okay. This is DGCA website. Now you go to the A to C index, then that will show this page. Okay. There you want to search medical and click on class 2 to get the list of doctors or hospitals which are approved by DGCA. Okay, and that's where you need to go. It's coming back. Now when it comes to height, DGCA does not mention any specific numbers, but they will make sure that when you sit in the seat or the cockpit, you have sufficient length for your limbs to reach the control units, switches, etc. Eyeglasses are allowed, but should be correctable. Age limit, well, it starts from 17 onwards. Now, if you really want to read DGCA's complete eligibility web page, what you need to do is go to Google. Let me show you here. Go to Google and just say search this DGCA, whatever this. Okay. Or you can do one more thing. You can go to DGCA and follow this navigation. That will also show you the complete information about eligibility. Let's go there. DGCA. This is very good. So this is DGCA website. What you should do is regulation and guidelines. Next is 1937 rules. Then it will take you to, let's go there. And then you go all the way down to schedules. Then you must come to aircraft personnel, which is schedule 2. Here you go, you got everything here. Now if you want to see private aeroplane, you see this private pilot's license aeroplanes. Click on this and they show you a complete detailed DGCA requirements, age, qualification, fitness, everything is there. Now if you want to check on commercial license, what do you do? Commercial, search commercial, and there you go, commercial pilot license. Like that, every aircraft personnel license requirements are mentioned here. Now let's go back. Alright, now point number 3, pilot license, your steps. Okay, so follow these steps because you got 5 steps here before you apply for license, and you don't want to jump any steps. Following this will save your time and money, right? So you do make sure your education is requirements are met. Next, you must do the medical test, which is class 2. Once you clear that, you proceed with theory classes. Now, what is this? Make sure okay. So there are close to 5 plus major subjects, theory subject, physics and maths. You need to study intensely, and you can choose a nearby aviation academy. It may take 6 months time. So you do that, and if you want to know the study material, I'll show you that. Hold on. Study material. So this is available in Pariksha. Pariksha. Hold on. Pariksha DGCA website. Okay. It's available here, and it will show you the list of study materials for private, commercial, and ATPL licenses. Okay, you can buy them, or you can use a aviation academy and study there. Okay, pretty much everything is there. Okay, now let's come back. So you do the complete preparation for theory, study well. Then what you should do, go to the DGCA website and do the registration for the exam. Now this is the portal, and when you register you get a unique computer number. That's good for a lifetime. Alright, let's go to Pariksha. Pariksha. This is the page. Now you say click here to proceed, and you do the flight crew registration. See here, new candidate registration. Let's come back. So you done that, you given the theory exams, clear that, then the next step is practical classes. That's where you are joining a flying school. Now we got 35 registered schools in India. It can take you close to 2 years, and you will be flying 200 hours of training. Okay. Now where is the list of registered schools? Let me show you that. Go to DGCA again and close this Pariksha. Go to DGCA again, right? And then you go to A to C index that we mentioned before. Then you do a search for flying training organization, and this is the one. Okay, it will show you the registered or approved schools. 35 schools are there. Choose the one that makes sense to you. Let's come back. So you got the list. Now um, you get trained there. Now how does a training day looks like? I got some additional information here. Make sure you read it. So you got an instructor with you for 101 training. There will be a briefing before you fly and after you fly. There is feedback session and things like that. And you only fly if the weather is good. Now I want you to make note of this prominent flying school, which is owned by Civil Aviation Ministry, but it is autonomous. Okay, this is one of the finest one. You can also see some additional information in Wikipedia. Flying schools. Let me show you list of pilot training schools. Okay, and all these schools you can see based on state. Okay, and all right. So you can check on this as well. Let's come back. So you did the flying also. That's also completed. Final step is apply for PPL license and CPL license in DGCA. Now let's um, let's see um, the licenses. So this is what it is. Now PPL is private license, and you need to do 40 hours of Flying. It only permit you to fly your own a plane or a hired plane for your family. Okay, just like your car driving license, this PPL is nothing but your driving license for flight. CPL is you need to finish 200 hours of flight training. Okay, and you got additional details, so make sure you read them. Okay, and that's about the basics of license types. Now, so when you pursue your licenses with DGCA, um, it start with the student license. You do 40 hours of flying, then you can apply for private. You finish 200 hours of flying, you can apply for commercial. But all these licenses will not allow you to fly if the weather is bad. To allow you to fly on poor weather, you need additional rating, which is instrument rating. So what that means is, you want to read this, okay? What that means is, you will be flying an aircraft using instruments inside the aircraft, and that allows you to fly during poor weather. This is additional skill. Okay, let's move on to D. By the way, hold on a second. Where is that thing? So D, huge training expense. Your options. So I'm sure everybody wanted to know more about this. This is the biggest hurdle. Option 1, 70 lakhs. You never want to take this route with any loan or property mortgage because guys, there is no job guarantee after CPL. Okay, and it can take you 3 years on average to get a decent employment. Um, well, everybody knows the fuel cost is very high, and 200 hours of flying means a lot of fuel. However, you have a scholarship opportunity here. For that, two things. One, you need to be selected in cadet pilot schemes. Two, you need to have 90 percentage marks in 10 plus 2. So what is cadet scheme? Cadet scheme give you a job assurance, uh, a letter of intent from the airline who runs this scheme. So I got some additional information for you here. Please read it. Um, so, mm, so if you have a letter of intent from cadet scheme, even if you don't get scholarship from the airline company, you can still get a bank loan. Okay, because your scheme of is are giving you some job assurance, so the banks are okay with that. All right, so that's another way to deal with the 70 lakhs. But you don't want to do 70 lakhs loan, I guess. No, but you can. There is a option. It's up to you whether you want to use it or not. But cadet scheme is a breakthrough towards finding this money, 70 lakhs. Okay, now what about international license versus license from India? It is more of expense, but you know that Europe and US is one of the largest aviation market. No, it's not just cargo and passenger market. They do all kinds of other. Um, there is all kinds of other uses with the airplane there. Um, so you got more job opportunities and more pay. So going to Europe makes sense. Going to US makes sense. But US, Europe, especially Australia and New Zealand, is cheaper compared to other countries. Okay, so everything good. If you can do that, everything good. The international one. Also, the license from Europe or USA are internationally recognized. So you can even come to India and do some conversion paperwork and still fly in India also. So in case you want to know the flying schools in Europe, visit British Council website and there's a list. And by the way, US is the largest market for general aviation, and they also have got 250,000 small airports. That's huge. Well, what is general aviation? This is what general aviation. Okay. So all these different varieties of using an airplane is very much in Europe and US as opposed to India. Okay. Now, mm, while if you are pursuing the what you call the international license, one downside is you will be away from India for easily 5 hours, 5 years. Okay, that's one downside. So you need to plan your life accordingly. Now, what about license from India? Yes, our market is steadily growing. but much behind Europe and USA. Air traffic in Europe and USA is very big, huge. Mm, and India, you got very less job opening. Okay, please be cautioned that there are easily 2,000 plus pilots may be still looking for a job. Option 2, about 70 lakhs. Option 2 is get a military job. Get into military force, Indian Air Force or whatever. The government gives you free training for sure. The route 1 with government is you do 10 plus 2 and spend 3 years working towards clearing this NDA exam starting from your 10th, 10th at least. You can get into Air Force or Navy and become a pilot. Your route 2 is after graduation. You can join Navy or Coast Guard, and there is a Naval Academy 4-year program, executive officer, pilot. And if you are already a graduate, there's a 1-year program and you can become a pilot. Route 3 is you are a graduate and you prepare really well for AFCAT entrance exam or CDS. You can become a pilot. And you know about ex-military pilots, they have to, once you become a defense pilot at the age of 17, after your 14 years of compulsory service, you can still continue your career in commercial airlines because these companies know that you are trained in one of the best way. Let's move on to E, building your career, your personality type, your growth trajectory. Now let's one more time take a look at aviation markets. Okay, so you got general, which we saw just before. There is commercial market, passengers and cargo, and there is corporate market. Now, while you building your career, finding a job, etc., your time spent in general aviation is one of the crucial one. Okay, so spend sufficient time there uh, because what matters is your flying hours or experience far more than your destination. And in general aviation, you'll be flying low and at low altitude and also slow compared to the commercial aircrafts. And this gives you more control and more flying experience. Okay. Now, in general aviation, you'll be using small aircrafts. That means you'll be using stick rotors, etc., as opposed to in commercial aircrafts with autopilot. Also, that also makes you closely working with the aircraft. Well, you also will be changing the oil, your hands get dirty, all that is good. Okay. Whereas in a commercial airline, things are easier compared to small aircraft. You got a lot of all kinds of buttons, someone to assist you, crews, things like that. So this is good. Spend a quality number of years and get strong. Now let's look at the job vacancy thing. The facts, their vacancies are very limited, to be honest with you. There is no job, okay, after your CPL as you think. There are initial struggles, okay. So you may have to find some job in flying to start with. Okay, these are some of the examples where you get started. Now, as you know, the biggest employer is obviously the passenger airlines. And when it comes to qualification, when you look for a job, when you compete with other pilots, guys, make sure you got this. Okay, you need CPL, multi-engine rating, instrument rating, and type rating. Okay, so what is this type rating? Well, this is a rating for a specific type of aircraft, which is weighing more than 5.7 tons, which is major aircrafts, mainline aircrafts. And if you have all these things, well, it takes easily more than 5 years. But this is what resume skill set like. Okay, you will get there later. Now, just for your information, now India got one of the India's largest airline company has close to 300 aircraft. So we are growing. Now, I just want you to show you, if you are just passed out with a CPL, you are next 15 years, how you going to build your career will be something similar to this. You likely become a flight instructor for a few years, then cargo co-pilot in a courier flight, domestic, promotion after 2 years as a captain, which require you to take one more license, ATPL. Now what is ATPL is mentioned here, make sure you read it. Then you will move on to a passenger flight, starting with a mid-size 650-seater regional flight. Now what is regional flight is mentioned here, please read. Then you will move on to a 150-seat major mainline aircraft like Boeing. Okay, and if interested, you will move on to corporate aircraft too, which is these days Bombardier Global 6000 or 7000. Now, for information, what is type rating, which we just mentioned about? What that means is you can only fly one type of aircraft at a time. Okay, type rating is a course you need to finish before you get a job in commercial airlines. Okay, I got some additional notes here for you. Please read. This will make you completely understand what this means. Okay. Just to touch on a quick talk on this is say these airlines, right? These airlines all belongs to Airbus 320. Okay. So once you got a type rating for airline 320, you can fly 318, 319, 320, 321 because they all got same kind of technical setup. And while you fly with A320 type rating, you are not allowed to touch any other aircraft family. Okay, pilot career. Continuing to next point, which is the long-term job satisfaction. Well, we are talking about a totally different thing, which is a soft skill, personality. Well, you must do a Google. You must do Google and say personality test, and pick up one of these tests free of cost, and check whether you are a sociable person or a solitary person. Okay, because when we say airline captain, it's not just flying. You are also required to be extremely good in managerial skills also, where sociable nature comes into play. Before I go in detail, let me tell you something here. If you pick up a sociable career and after a few years you are not happy and you want to move into another, you want to move into solitary kind of career in flying, you may not be able to switch because the accumulated experience may not be matching and the employers may not offer you a job. Okay, so it's very crucial and important that your personality is also taken into account while you pick up a long-term career. Now coming back to sociable nature, okay, what that means is You need to be talking with all these folks, including ATC. Okay. Whereas if you're a solitary kind of person and you're picking a career on that direction, you are not talking to most of them. Okay, because uh, you are flying with just you and boxes inside the aircraft, and the boxes won't complain. Okay. Uh, so the point is, if you pick up a long-term career against your personality, it will eventually make you dislike your job. Now, you know what is corporate market is. Okay, these are additional information. I don't think you need this, but I'm giving it anyway. CFI means certified instructor, flight instructor. Okay, he also needs to talk. Regional means passenger, mid-size airlines, and major airlines means 150 seat. Okay, um, these are basic information, but anyway, it's for your reference. On the other hand, solitary nature, it's ferry means you don't have much passengers. It's mostly you carry a small little limited number of passengers or some kind of goods like cars or things like that transported. Okay, and banner, spray, agriculture spray, all these are same kind of nature, solitary in nature, mostly single engine, and you can switch jobs also because machinery is same. Okay, pipeline. This is another solitary kind of pilot job where you'll be monitoring the gas pipeline safety as well as leaks. You can also pick up a job of pilot doing forest fire and fire emergencies job. So these are pretty much single engine or small aircrafts where you can switch jobs. Cargo. This is also solitary, which we already talked about, and you can read this to get more information on this. All right. Okay. Skydive. You know that I don't have to explain this. And this one also a small aircraft with single engine. So all these jobs you can easily switch. Okay. But if you are a skydive guy and you want to go into sociable kind of thing, you may not get job immediately because as I told you the cumulative experience and the machinery, the aircraft model things that doesn't match up with what is available in regional or major airlines, and your work experience also you're more solitary, so that's also comes against you. All right, so to summarize this part, before one second, to summarize it, if you are a sociable person, you start with charter airlines or corporate or CFI. And if you are in CFI, you want to move to regional, you can go like this. This is the trajectory. And for the solitary, you can pick any of these. All right, and you'll be okay switching. Now, when it comes to pilot lifestyle, regulatory recurring checks, well, you can get job suspension or even termination. Okay, if your lifestyle is bad, this can happen, and there are recurring checks on you, and you can end up in suspension. Medical fitness retest happens every year, and there is a simulator test happening every half year. So simulator test is this. Please make sure you read this, where the simulating machine makes you do all kinds of procedures, 15 of them. Those are air emergencies, and you need to do this from your memory without referring any manual within a stipulated time. Okay. Now we are going to another interesting section, which is pictures. Hold on a second. Very good. Okay. So when it comes to pictures, why I am hold on, I'm getting stuck here. One second. Okay, 8. Coming back here. So I put some pictures here because whatever we talked about makes sense only if we see some pictures. Alright? Because they talk 1,000 words. So guys, if you are a military man, military material, this is so interesting to see a fighter jet. Okay. Indian Naval Academy. Alright, this is where you have to go to become a pilot in Navy. 4-year course, 1-year course, things like that. Pilot stripes. 4 stripes for captain, 3 for the co-pilot. Okay. And no stripes for private pilot license. Single one for instrument rating, 2 for commercial, and 3 for co-pilot, things like that. Alright. Now here is a wonderful pilot is a captain on the left side. On the right side we got a co-pilot. Cessna, your training airline, aeroplane actually. And this is the same machine that typically used for spraying and gas patrolling and skydiving, things like that. And this is a 3-striped or 4-striped captain ranked trainer, and this is a single stripe what do you call CPL, is it CPL or instrument rating, one of these. Okay, this is advertising. You see that it looks more like Cessna. This is spraying agriculture application, and this is gasoline petroleum, and they use all kinds of special instruments and sensors and all the stuff, softwares. This is skydiving. These all machines are pretty much single engine. This is cargo, huge one. Okay, fine. You can have a solitary job here also. And what you see inside is all boxes, no complaints. This is charter airline, 10 plus seat for celebrities, soccer teams, things like that. It's private booked. And this is regional 40-seat aircraft, and this is wow, Boeing 150 seats mainline airline, huge one. And this is Airbus A320, and we got corporate Bombardier, beautiful aircraft. And this is inside Bombardier, Fortune 500 companies, CEOs and stuff like that. This is how it looks inside. Interesting. Right, we're done. Disclaimer, please read. And I'm really hope this guidance was very helpful to you. I thank you very much for listening. Happy flying. I really want to see you in uniform sooner than later. Make it happen. All the best. See you soon. Take care.